Hello, Real Housewives superfans! You are watching the official after show for the Real Housewives of Melbourne. We are breaking down the season finale and especially the fight between Lydia and Jackie, so you don't want to miss it.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
All the women, woo! Hello, Real Housewives superfans. You're watching the season finale after show for the Real Housewives of Melbourne. Ladies, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Woohoo! Yes, finale. Good finale.
I know,
so
yes.
Good. Loved it. Hey guys, I'm Hayley Clover. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Hayley Clover.
And I am Angela Struck. What's up? You can find me on Twitter at the Angela Struck and on Instagram and Snapchat at Angela Struck.
Oh, and I am Dan Babic, and you can find me on the Instagram at Dan Babic and find me on the Twitter at Dan Babic with an underscore.
I still love that.
The Twitter.
The Twitter.
The Twitter.
The Instagram.
Exactly. And I've got to say, what do we think of Petty Fleur's lips to start off? We see
She was doing something to a Smurf, I guess.
Yeah, I actually loved them.
Same.
I
like them as
loved
well.
Too.
the
I thought
lipstick.
it was really cool. And she took a fashion risk. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked her
did.
whole outfit. She looked good that night.
It was funny because a lot of people were saying on Twitter that she's obviously got her hands on a Kylie Jenner lip kit.
Yeah.
But I like them because I think sometimes she can be not so modern, not so fresh, and a
Yeah.
little bit off trend. But I actually find those colours are very, very on trend.
It was very
Yeah.
cool.
The
I
one
liked
thing,
it.
the one thing you can say about her is that she at least she goes for it, and
She
when she
does,
does,
yeah.
she just owns it, whatever it is. So you can't
True.
really ever,
Yeah, even if it looks like that she's given a bit of a Smurf a gobby.
Yeah.
Had oral sex with a Smurf, that's okay. She still owns it. And it started off with her and her sister, obviously going out for a bit of a walk in the park. What do you think about their relationship, Angela?
I was happy to see them trying to revisit that situation because as we had discussed that one after show, that was like the most awkward discussion like several episodes ago between the two of them.
Yeah, it
so
was really weird.
it seems like they kind of were able to get past that, and I thought it was kind of nice for them to like end that on a nice note because that really made Petty Fleur look so bad that she like literally couldn't get along with anyone, including her own family.
sister, yeah.
So I was happy. I think family needs each other, so I think it's good. But
Yeah.
I think that was the first time we saw her actually apologize and
Yeah.
say, I think I needed to stop and look at myself a bit and realize that I am coming off this way to people. And she even said about the girls, when all of the girls were saying this, I think it was time for me to stop and think about, how I was acting. And that was a big moment for me, for her anyway. It
Yeah.
was like, light bulb.
I must say, I actually liked Petty Fleur more this episode.
Same,
Like,
yeah.
I actually found her to be a lot more normal, and she did apologize and owned up to a lot of her mistakes. And I actually felt bad for her too when she was like, I'm surrounded by boys, and like,
Yeah, very relatable.
I
yeah.
definitely can like relate to that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
so I was like, oh, that's I understand where she's coming from. I liked her this episode. I'm saying it. I liked Petty Fleur for the first time all
Oh,
season.
yeah. Did you like it this episode, Hayley?
Yeah, much better.
Yeah.
Still not my favorite, but I definitely still liked her. Especially towards the end, which I know we'll talk
Yeah, we'll
about.
get to, yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
get
I
to
was
it,
thinking
but
the same thing.
yeah, I think she finally realized that she doesn't need to necessarily just be on one person's side or like be super close with one person. I think she kind of realized this episode that she can
Just be herself.
be herself
Yeah.
and have some normal relationships. So I hope that's kind of how she progresses next season.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like, I actually want to see her next season because I
Yeah.
haven't seen this. If we hadn't seen this side of herself this episode,
Yeah.
I would have said I kind of want nothing to do with you.
Exactly.
But I think she kind of realised that she kept trying to play a character and be something she's not, and people didn't like her anyway. So you may as well just be yourself because
Yeah,
people.
right.
And
Yeah.
the girls, even Gamble actually likes her better. 'Cause you
Yeah.
can tell she's being authentic. Yeah.
You're exactly right. I literally couldn't have said it better. I would have said, please get rid of her, but I actually liked her that episode.
I want some more. I want some more Smurf lipstick. That's what I want.
Yes.
Me too. I wish I would have thought about it. I would have worn my blue.
Oh yeah, you
Ooh,
should have.
have
You can
some.
for the
Ooh.
reunion next.
Maybe we should all wear crazy lip color next week.
Okay.
Even I'll do it.
Petty
Yeah,
Fleur.
I'll do it. Yeah, I'll come dressed as a housewife. I'll come
Gina's
as Betty
wig.
Ford. Gina, yeah. Actually, quickly, I know it's going a little bit further along. How much better did her hair look when it was done differently for her perfume launch?
I totally
Way
agree.
better.
And
Yeah.
I also love her in black. Like, it doesn't need to be a monochromatic, bright color outfit every single time. I thought she looked so gorgeous
Or
in
just
the
a
black.
full rhinestone dress.
And her hair was, like pulled back a little bit. It wasn't just kind of the so stiff, like, helmet-looking look that she does so often.
Right.
So
I would love to see her in an updo, like completely back.
Yeah, I think she actually needs to get out of the Versace dresses as much and explore more with fashion and different looks because she's actually a very beautiful woman. When I saw her hair and that, she can really experiment and play around with it a bit more.
yeah.
And moving on to, I love that by the way, it's Lydia's mum's 69th birthday.
Yeah.
I was thinking that the entire episode. What a random birthday to celebrate.
Yeah.
What do we think of that? Do we think that was cute seeing her mum?
I thought it was really cute. I think it's like you said, we saw some interesting sides of everybody that I wasn't expecting. It made me like her a little bit more, but I still think she's a idiot.
Yeah.
But I thought it was cute how she got the donkeys, and I thought her mother seemed so sweet. And that party looked fabulous. That food and everything, I thought it looked amazing.
No one does it like the Italians, the Sicilians.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think that's so cute. It reminded me of my grandma. My grandma would so love a donkey at her party.
Yeah. I would love a donkey at my birthday party.
No, isn't that cute? Do you ladies have any weird things that you're into, like animal wise, like a donkey or some type of
Goats. I love goats.
You're into goats. Yeah.
I think they're so funny. Ever since they came out with the video, with our show starting with Taylor Swift, of the screaming goat. Did you ever see that on YouTube?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. I never liked the screaming goat phenomenon.
You didn't?
No, yeah, I was never into it.
Oh my god, I loved it. It was just so funny. They're so funny how they scream like that.
Do you know what I think is adorable is pigs?
Pigs,
like the little
piglets.
ones.
Yeah,
they're pretty cute.
They are cute.
Well, I like baby panda bears, but they're a bit harder to get to a party. I love a panda bear.
Those are so
Those
cute.
are adorable.
But it was interesting that all of Lydia's family was saying that she's always been a troublemaker, even when she was little. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, she's definitely a troublemaker, and I definitely think, which I'm sure we'll get to too more, is I do think she lies a lot.
She does, yeah.
You
God,
know,
it's like
so,
nonstop.
I
It's
mean,
disgusting.
your family knows you best, so I'm sure they've experienced it, her two-face syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think sometimes when you're a compulsive liar, you don't even realise that you're lying anymore because you just do it so often. I think that's what actually happens to her. She just forgets that she's lying because she's just used to it.
Yeah.
I think everybody knows a compulsive liar.
Yeah, we've all met them, yeah.
There was one girl in my sorority who, I mean, the stuff that came out of her mouth was just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, ridiculous. And we'd look at her and be like, are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah, everyone
it's so
knows
not
you're
to be
lying.
friends with somebody like that because you really just don't even know what to think of what they're saying. It's like,
Right, you don't listen to anything.
We know you're like making this up right now, you know? I don't know. I also want to really dig deeper into the affairs that Jackie was talking about, but I'm sure we'll get to that later too.
I just want a quick question. I wouldn't put it past Lydia. I would actually presume she has had affairs.
Yeah.
Well, the entire first episode was about her and that guy.
Shane Warne?
Yes.
Yeah.
But that never came back at all. That,
Don't
like,
you think it's
storyline
weird
totally
that like
stopped.
her husband's never around? Like he wasn't at that birthday party.
Or maybe he was, but he's asking not to be filmed.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know.
All I know is
But he filmed other times. He filmed at like
True.
the Porsche thing, and he's filmed other times.
He's
with
a
her.
lot older, right?
Oh, a little bit older, yeah. But let's break down all the other stuff that happened in the episode because we want to get into that massive fight at the end.
Yes.
But we were actually talking before the show started that one of our favourite moments of the show was Suzy and Jackie's reading.
Yes.
Yes.
So good.
Oh my gosh, that was so amazing.
What you were telling us what you thought
Well,
about
I
Jackie.
thought it was really interesting because I'm such a skeptic, but we were talking about it earlier, like Tyler Henry and some of these other mediums that have come out that's like, wow, what they're saying is unbelievable. And I thought she was so spot on with what she was saying. And I actually felt like her face, like her energy just changed. Like she was being this vessel for like these her angels. I thought it was just like very interesting. She didn't seem like typical Jackie to me. She seemed like in this zone, and I was like, wow. I don't know. I could just like see it in her eyes.
Yeah, that's not put on.
No, exactly.
You're not just putting that on because
Right.
a lot of people say, is it real? Is it not? But when you see someone like that, like why would she's not trying to be a psych? She's not even doing it anymore.
Exactly.
She just was doing it.
Doing it as a friend.
Yeah.
And I think you always have to look at the reaction of the person that they're
Yes,
reading.
yeah.
And Suzy's reaction was just so genuine that it's hard to believe that they went over what to say beforehand, and she could still put on that kind of, crying.
Suzy was
and-
like in shock.
I mean,
yeah.
yeah. Especially
Yeah.
when she brought up her grandmother's name and said it was a nickname and not even
Yeah,
her
and then
real name.
knew that her grandfather's name was Frank and everything, and that he
Right.
smoked a cigarette, and like, I mean, that was pretty like spot on. I felt. I don't know.
I just one thing because I'm quite a skeptic as well, but I think people like Tyler Henry, who we were
Yeah.
talking about, have changed my mind because they're just it's almost undeniable.
Yeah.
Because everyone that's ever had a reading with them, it doesn't matter who they are
Yeah.
convinced in the end.
Right.
But Chyka was the hugest skeptic, and this is
Yeah.
behind the scenes information, and she always says Jackie has a true gift.
Yeah.
Because Chyka believes most psychics are fake and not real, but she will always say, oh my God, Jackie is the real deal.
Real deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think exactly what you said too. She has no motive to like put this on. I feel like other people, maybe potentially like a Tyler Henry, in theory, even though I don't think this, could have Wikipedia'd somebody or could have found out. Like if they
Yeah.
were just a total scam artist. But I don't think that Jackie is that person. We've seen who she is as a person. Like
Yeah.
I think she's such a straight shooter and so honest that she would never be like, oh, I'm getting this from my angels, and she actually
and
knew
it
that
wasn't
information.
like you're going to be successful.
Yeah.
You're going to have a great
Yeah.
career. You know, you're going to have children, like stuff that she could have already had or
Yeah.
already does have, or, you know, whatever. It
Seems like it was stuff she needed to hear.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
actually, and like that's something that the grandmother would have said if she could talk to her.
Right.
So that was pretty.
Absolutely, and one thing I actually noticed the next day, and that's why I love that she's such a straight shooter, she said that after the reading she was feeling a bit flat because she felt like she took on
Yeah.
Suzy's energy, and she was saying,
Yeah.
I feel like Suzy runs around life and is quite flat.
Yeah.
And I agree
Yeah,
with that. I
yeah.
think that we can definitely see that she doesn't seem overly happy.
Yeah, that's very true. I thought that was very interesting, but you could see on her that she was kind of like mellowed out or something. I could imagine that if you're delivering this, it must be exhausting. Like
Yeah.
trying to channel this, and then you'd feel the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we'll start moving. I could talk about the whole psychic thing
Right.
as well. But I
Yeah.
think one thing that I think makes Jackie more relatable and people like Tyler Henry more relatable as psychics is they don't look like a traditional psychic. So they look like any other person in the street. Jackie's
Yeah.
a cool, fashionable woman.
Yeah.
She doesn't have, like the crystal ball.
Yeah,
or
right.
she's not all
And
pretty.
she
the
swears,
cards and
she's,
everything, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting. I'm like, Jackie, can we please have a reading? Come on the
I
show.
know.
We
Oh
love
my
Jackie.
gosh.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
moving on to the perfume launch of
Yes.
Gina's, which we started getting to about her look and how we liked it so much better.
Do you know what I loved is when Gamble was like sprayed herself everywhere, and she's
Yeah.
like, "You spray where you want to be kissed." I like-
Gamble's funny.
She's so cheeky. I
like
love
her.
it.
She's actually been she got into a fight with one of the future Real Housewives of Sydney this week.
Oh, really?
They're starting a new
Yeah.
one.
I didn't know that they were doing one in
Me
Sydney.
either.
Yeah, because one of the Real Housewives of Sydney made.
Is there already a show in Sydney?
No,
Oh.
they've just filmed it.
Oh,
I think it's
okay.
going to air in the next. I think it's going to air probably next year, but they're just
Okay.
starting to do press and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
And one of the Real Housewives of Sydney said that they don't even compare to Melbourne because all of the Sydney housewives are all self-made and didn't just marry for the dollar and kind of made fun of Gamble. So
Yeah.
Gamble came straight back at her, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I just think everybody has their own path, and people should just like,
Right.
get
Who
effed.
cares how you
Like,
got
who
your money?
cares? Like, whatever. We're all like, they're all adults at this point, and like, great, you made it on your own. Whatever. Like, I also think there's something to being a partner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Right.
and to having like that partnership with your husband or whatever, and not everybody can play every role. So I just think it's like that dig has been done. Like, shut up.
You know,
Like,
and screw you, because if you figured out how not to work a day in your life, congratulations, because sometimes working is exhausting.
Yeah.
Totally,
You
and
know,
she's,
it's like-
she's made the money, but she has changed that boy. What's
Yes.
Wolf's son? I forget.
Yeah, right.
Luke is that his name? Luke.
yeah,
She's changed his life.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
the mother that he
Exactly,
Yeah,
and
that's
she's
more
felt-
important
that's
than
more important
anything.
than
Yeah.
any $1 million check you can make. So
And look at how happy she's made Wolf Pup. He
Yeah.
looks just so happy, and that's going to be the rest of their lives together. I think it's very special. So
Well, that's because
I
she seems
agree.
like a little freak in the bed.
Yeah,
she would
was
be.
like,
She'd get
she was
freaky,
like,
yeah.
go to the sex store and get some toys and everything. She was, she's spicy. I like it.
she is. And
I
it's-
loved her hair in the last
Me too.
scene, by the way.
Totally. Yeah.
I like that mermaid look on her.
Yeah.
Totally, because we always say
Sexy.
we think she's quite, but she's got the brown underneath that she needs to get rid of. The
Yes.
blonde
Yes.
with the
Oh, I hate
brown,
the
that's so done.
Yeah.
She needs to get that colour
Just
out.
all
yeah.
blonde.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. It was funny because Petty Fleur straight away took a dig at Lydia as soon as she arrived, didn't she? Oh no, it was the other way around. Lydia made a fun of her lipstick, with the clutch in the bag.
Yeah.
Wait, I missed that.
She
What
said,
happened?
"Oh, my purse matches your lips
Your
perfectly,"
lipstick,
or
yeah.
something. You know,
Oh.
something dumb.
And then
Idiot.
And
Yeah.
then Petty Fleur, which was kind of funny, said, "Oh, you copied my hairstyle, bitch stole my look."
Yeah.
And then you saw Lydia in the package, kind of saying, as if I'd copy someone like Petty Fleur, and you
Yeah.
can see that Lydia obviously puts herself on a scale above
Oh,
Petty Fleur.
yeah.
God, she's on
Yeah.
such an imaginary pedestal. It's
Yeah.
like insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we kind of touched on this before. I mean, she, like, you, and I really appreciated what you said about women and body types and things, and like, but if you're putting yourself in the public eye and you're claiming to be this like sexy, fabulous person who's better than other people, like, I'm gonna judge you. Like, she's very overweight, and like she doesn't look that fabulous a lot of the time. Like, especially in her interview, she looks very puffy and like swollen, and like she's been having too many glasses of wine or something. And like, honestly, like, you know, look in the mirror before you start judging other people, because honestly, Petit Fleur looks really good.
She looks great. Well, and especially someone like her who is on such like a health journey right now. Go to the gym with her. Like, even if, you know what, if you work out every single day and your body just has a really hard time losing weight, whatever, you're at least being healthy.
I don't think that's her case.
And then I'm not judging. Right. I mean,
and that's why I like that. I think that's we've put the nail on the head, because for now we came so too far the other way. You can't say anything negative about any woman's body, but and I think we should all embrace ourselves. But if you're somebody that, like, as you said, like
and
Lydia,
talking down to other people.
I think someone like that,
you ask for it.
Is, you know, is looking, you know, So it's like, if you're saying that you're the most fat, well, she is a little bit overweight, Lydia. Just a little bit.
She is, and it's you know, I just don't like, you know, don't throw stones at a glass house. It's just like, you know, don't put down other people if you're not, you know, perfectly on point. Like, Gamble's body is insane. Like, if she wants to take a dig at somebody, okay, like, whatever. I won't, you know, it's not nice, but like, Lydia, you know, for her to act like she's superior, it's just, she's a little delusional.
Someone that is acting a bit superior is Gina. In her speech, they joked about her Academy Award. She thanked everyone but her assistant Josh.
Oh my god, that assistant kills me. By the way, do you think they edit him to make him look like a giant idiot, or do you think he actually is a giant idiot?
I think it's a combination. I mean, I think he's a bit of an idiot, but I think that,
I mean, it's like, how does all of that stuff go over your head? Like, he just kind of walks around like.
I think doesn't she have sons?
I think that's kind of like the son.
I think she like loves being this like mother role for him, and kind of be like, oh, you're, you know, get with it. Like, I'm teaching you how to like survive in business. Like, she smiles at him like she would smile at a son. So I think that like she just enjoys him being there.
I hate that
like,
she keeps saying that, like, oh, he's young, he's just out of university, and you know, he has a lot to learn, which is so true. But there's plenty of people that graduate and are not.
I know.
Stupid.
I've been an assistant before for high-profile people, and I'm like the worst assistant ever, because I want to be in front of the camera, and I'm like, oh my god, I am shit all over Josh. Like, and I would say I'm a bad assistant.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's not a good assistant, but I think I know where she's coming from with him. I think she enjoys having him around. It doesn't seem like she has that much family around her.
No.
And what's with her partner?
I would love to know her partner
now?
situation. It's like such a mystery, and maybe you know some more backstory.
Yeah, well, we don't really know. In the first season, that was predominantly a major storyline, but she hasn't really
gone there. Is she still with him? That same person?
I believe so. Well, I believe she's got. I know.
Wasn't he in America?
Yeah. So but she hasn't really gone, and it's funny because she is someone that always says, "I operate best in love." Mm-hmm. So she's obviously, if she wasn't in love,
she doesn't really seem in love, you know.
I think she likes. I mean, as if I know her, but it seems like to me that maybe they have this kind of long distance relationship. They both do what suits them. She's a very independent person.
Yeah.
I don't think that she would like somebody in her space all the time. So I think it like suits her. And then I think when they're together, it's probably like blissful and romantic and like in love.
Yeah.
Do you know what one thing I really like and about Gina, and I also like about Suzy as well, is traditionally, like, as far as, you know, the Italian communities work, it's always the man takes care of the woman, and that's where we're going back to the reading where Suzy's grandma was coming through Rosie and saying, you don't need someone to make yourself safe, and as soon as you learn that you can make yourself safe and you can make yourself feel whole, then you will. The man doesn't come first, and that's why she's had troubles, because she always puts the man first.
Definitely. And you can see that she's very passive.
Yeah.
Like, I can see that she probably likes a man to like protect her and, you know,
well, and she's had some pretty high profile ex-husbands.
Yeah.
Like, her last ex-husband was the soccer coach, right?
Coach, yeah.
And so I can only
imagine. Famous? Is he a big one?
Well, I would imagine soccer's huge, and
well, it's funny. I'm really bad at the sport thing.
This is not an area.
This is not an area I'm strong at. But you being married, do you find that difficult? Because you've always got to fill yourself up as well as fill up your relationship. Do you find, how do you have your own identity?
Well, it's definitely like a balancing act, and you know, you have to. It's teamwork in every way, you know. Sometimes like he's doing a bit better in his career, sometimes I am, you know. It's like, and sometimes you just have to support one another. So I definitely think it's hard. And I think as a woman, I don't know, I'm a bit old school. I like to be like a little bit of that Suzy. Like I like to cook. I like to like take care and nurture. So yeah, it can be hard to like, you know, you can't lose track though of like taking care of yourself at times.
Right.
So
yeah, but you still know at the end of the day you like to nurture, but you know you're equal. You know, it's not like you think he's better than you.
Exactly.
You just enjoy cooking.
I
and
like
enjoy
doing that.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. That's the same as my mum. Yeah, she doesn't think that she's less than my dad. But she just loves all the traditional things of a married woman. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So I can relate to her, but I think that she needs to. I don't know. It's almost seems like she's had some bad experiences and been hurt or something. Like,
that's what I always thought.
Seems a bit like a wounded bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she does a bit, and then they're right. She does.
She's so hot too. I think she's the most attractive of the housewives.
With the teeth, needs a teeth. We always say that needs a teeth. Yeah.
Teeth.
But her outfits and her makeup and her hair, she's always
her body.
Yeah,
too.
she always looks great to me.
Yeah.
But
so she's a catch.
I do think that, you know, because women say, Gina was saying that she used to have a toolbox back in the day, and she's like, no, I think she's not being herself. She's being a bit prudy. She's holding back.
What does that mean? I was going to ask that.
Toolbox, or just like a
pleasure chest, like a bunch of sex toys.
Yeah, just a bunch of sex toys and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, I understand that. She's got 2 boys, and I mean, who wants to necessarily air that? But she shouldn't go on a reality TV show then. Like, you gotta be, like, open and, like,
I think if any girl denies the fact that has tried one, or whatever, I mean, you're a liar.
You're a liar.
And you're stupid. Go get one.
Go get something.
Yeah.
And quickly, one thing before we move on to the massive fight.
Yes.
One thing I actually thought was funny about Lydia at the perfume launch, she said, "Oh, imagine if I'm allergic to Gina."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did think that was funny.
That
I was going to throw her a bone.
Yeah, yeah.
But let's go to the Lydia and Chyka conversation. That was fairly kind of mellow, wasn't it? Yeah.
I was disappointed with that conversation. I thought there was going to be a blowout.
But see,
I also
Chyka doesn't want anyone to know about her husband being gay, so they don't go into specifics.
She doesn't want that to come out, so I think she doesn't want to stir that pot too much.
Yeah.
Right. Which, that's crazy.
But you were about to say something before I interrupted you. What was that?
No, I didn't, for me, I didn't like that Chyka kind of just, like, took it. She kind of just was like, okay, like, just say you're sorry and we'll be done. But, and that makes sense now that you say that, because I didn't necessarily think of that, you know, her not wanting it to just, like, come out and them actually talk about it, but I don't know. It's just kind of like...
Yeah, I don't know. I totally agree with you. I thought it was a bit of a cop-out. It's like, if you're going to do that, then why even meet? Because it just felt like really fake, and like, you guys aren't going to be friends. You're not going to call each other up the next time you hear somebody say something about the other. Like, it just felt like really fake to me, and I was like, if somebody had said stuff about my husband, I would literally be like, you know, you better watch it, and like, I kind of want nothing to do with you, and like, move on. Like, like, I wouldn't just be like, it's okay, like, you know, and she had been so frustrated before.
That's what pissed me off. It was like, don't act so upset if you're going to come in and sit down and then just be like, okay, thanks for the apology.
And Lydia
then
was
continue
still
to dinner.
playing dumb.
Yeah.
Oh
she
my
was
God,
still like
so
pretending like she didn't say it when I'm sure she said it. Like everybody at the table then later was like, you 100% said all of these things. We've all, even Petty Fleur was like,
Yeah, so she just didn't want it to come out because later we found out because they filmed the reunion show months after it's aired because they want to, you know, see it. And
is that when it comes out?
No, it doesn't come out. But the host, Alexander Perry, says we actually can't reveal the rumours because Chyka's because of law,
like a lawsuit, like
lawsuit
filing
against Bravo
for defamation or something.
And defamation and stuff. So they're actually not allowed to talk about it at the reunion.
Damn.
So she did that purposely, where she just did what she had to do for camera. She knew she was leaving the series, and she didn't want that rumor to come out.
Makes
Got
sense.
it. So maybe she just wanted to smooth it over with Lydia.
Yeah, and then what we noticed later,
but we felt it.
We all felt it.
Like,
yeah.
It was just like, well, why do it then?
And we even know moving on when they get into the huge dinner fight, when Jackie called out Lydia for all the things she said, she was very specific.
And then
she said
she's like,
she said ABCD.
Yeah.
And you know, because they're good friends, she's got the back.
Yes,
and I think it was all part of their grand plan.
I noticed that too. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it was just kind of lame. Like, I think Lydia's like very fake and like, just own it at this point. Like, just say, you know what? We've gone through some ups and downs with each other. I think we all have said things we don't, you know, we wish we hadn't of. I shouldn't have said it. I'm sorry. Move on. Why can't people just move on and just like own it? Like, you know, she's like a pathological liar.
That's what Janet was saying.
Yeah.
She finally got to a point where she was like, I just don't get it. Why don't you just say you did it, you're sorry, and we'll all stop talking?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because
can't.
it reminds me, the Real Housewives reminds me of my high school Because that's what they're like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've never had arguments with people like this in the real life.
No, never.
Since high school, so it gets me thinking. I remember one time in high school, someone I didn't particularly like had gained a lot of weight, gained like 50 pounds over the summer break. So I mentioned that among friends and said, well, look, the beach has gained 50 pounds, type thing. Anyway, and then she confronted me, and she said to me, I heard you were making fun of me and said I've put on weight.
Yeah.
And I said, do you know what? We don't get along. We never got along.
Yeah.
And I said, I did say that. And I said, but it isn't horrible and isn't nice, but that was just honestly what I said. I said, I do think you'd put on weight. It's not nice, but I've said it. But the only difference is I
owned it.
I'm telling you that I said it, but everyone else who's denying it is lying.
What did she say?
She was really taken aback.
Yeah.
She wasn't happy that I owned it. It was just kind of, but I think.
But it almost makes it easier, right? She kind of couldn't say anything. It was like, okay.
I'm just saying. I'm like, it wasn't nice.
Kind of like beginning and end.
Yeah.
Like, I said it. Like, sorry.
I know.
Sorry, not sorry.
Totally. And this particular girl, I've had issues with throughout school. We just don't get along. And I remember even like one of the disciplinary people at school saying to me, she said that you said this about her. And I said, yeah, I did. I even forget what I said. Yeah. It's like, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And they're just like,
they're like, okay. I said, yeah, this is like that's what I said.
Yeah. And you're allowed to have an opinion.
You're allowed, and even Lydia said we all gossip, and that's one thing I agreed with her. They've all said things, but she's not willing to own anything.
Yeah. So she should have just been like, I don't know, it's my perception. I said it. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry that I hurt you and your family, but like, I think we've all said it.
I think that's the bigger problem. It's not almost that she's gossiping. It's that she seems to be doing it with no other intention besides to just, hurt people or get more people to know that this is the rumor. Like when you gossip among your friends, and Lydia to me doesn't really have friends, so she kind of will just gossip to everybody. It's not like she's gossiping to Petty Fleur in the group saying like, hey, I heard that, this, what do you think? Do you think that's true? It's more like, I'm telling you that this is what's going on.
Yeah.
Not even like,
almost too, like, don't you think she's maybe telling tabloids these things?
Yeah.
I got the vibe that it's like, it's not just like, oh, you had a friend over for coffee and like said something. I think it's like she must be telling stories.
That's what, to me, it's not gossip. It's just her relaying the message to anybody.
And the compulsive lie thing, it was so funny. It was proven when she said that she never went to Suzy'S wedding.
How crazy was that?
Yeah.
That was really
Especially
ridiculous.
because everyone at the table was like, are you serious? You don't remember going to this wedding? And Suzy was like, your whole family was there. Her parents were there. I mean, it's like, that's not something you forget. She's clearly just doing
lying.
that.
And also then she followed it up with such rude remarks like, well, your wedding obviously wasn't that memorable. Like, that's really rude.
So mean.
Like, and then she blamed it. Then she started blaming it on pre-dementia at some time.
Right.
Oh, that was Jackie's best comment the entire night.
gosh.
If you think you have pre-dementia, I will get you in a car and drive your effing ass down to the doctor to get you an MRI.
Yeah. She's, I don't know. I actually, I love Jackie. She's by far my favorite. And I love that she was like, oh, you guys mended it? Did you talk about me? And Lydia's like, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later. She's like, we'll talk about it now.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's just like, does it. Like, instead of just brushing stuff under the rug, it's like.
The only thing I did agree with Lydia this time was Jackie was being a bit of a hypocrite in that moment.
She was, yeah.
And I still absolutely love Jackie, but for her to be saying that she's gossiping and, bringing all these things and saying all these things about ruining people's marriages, for her to just come back and say you're having affairs.
Yeah.
It's doing the exact same thing.
It is, but in a different, the way I saw it was Lydia did all this. She probably told tabloids about it. She kind of did it on a bigger scale. She won't own up to it and won't apologize for it. She's like, okay, so then what I'm going to do right now is give it back to you and let you see how it feels.
Right.
Like, that's kind
I was
of the
shocked, though, that
impression.
Chyka was shocked because that's her best friend. So for Chyka to be a little bit shocked that Jackie was saying that was like, oh, that must be that must be pretty out of character.
But I was like, go girl, because it's like you're literally talking so much smack about everybody.
Right.
And just say it then.
It would have made the show better if we knew what they were talking about. If they could just say what the hell they were talking about.
I'm pretty sure we all know.
Yeah.
Because and that's where I think, that's where I love Chyka and stuff, but that's where I get a bit of annoyed. You are on a reality show.
Yeah.
Like, you can't sign up for a reality show and then withhold from us as an audience. It's not fair.
It isn't. I agree. But at the same point in time, that's so insulting. Like, if that's not true. You know, it's just like it would be so hurtful.
But I
to
almost
hear.
think that you don't cover it up if it's not true.
Same.
You know what I mean?
Well,
like if it's not
I
true
think
and you're on a reality show, you're like,
we
guys,
said this on the
is
first episode.
this is ridiculous. My husband is not gay. End of story. You know, you
If
go
you're
take
having a gay
legal
rumors,
action.
you'd be like,
Or you'd laugh like,
Yeah.
oh,
But
I
I don't know-
promise
I
you, my
mean, I don't
husband's not
know.
gay in the bedroom.
yeah.
Whatever. It's
I
just
don't know. We don't know enough about him, I guess. But
Yeah.
I don't think that it would be the most impossible thing. But at the same point in time, as I said with you the episode before last, I thought he seemed very, you know, into her in Dubai and everything. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure that whatever they have has worked. So
Yeah,
maybe
I don't think anyone's, there to judge people's version of happiness and marriage and love and
Yeah.
I think we're in this unique time and where it's people are doing what they want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So maybe mind your own business. The one thing that's true though is we never actually saw Lydia saying any of these things about the people. So it is kind of funny that Jackie has been the one that's brought it to the international level where we're all seeing it on the show.
Right.
And, you know, it's gotten a lot more attention as a result, I would imagine.
I had kind of forgot that she even said those things at the beginning of the season, or was it even last season where she had said to them in a group, Lydia has said something malicious about each and every one of you. She said it like in the beginning of the episode. And then to me it kind of disappeared until the last 3 episodes.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a huge storyline. They kind of like got rid of it and then all of a sudden it was here.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think it was just something that she was doing. Lydia Smart off camera and talking to. I think she was talking to people who are in the media and not among those group of friends.
Yeah.
Right.
And the one thing about Lydia is that I believe is that she's dumb and she will just always
Yeah.
say what she thinks and she doesn't
Yeah.
even. She's never going to change.
Yeah.
And it might not be malicious, but you just kind of, if you are friends with her, you need to take her as a bit of a joke.
Yeah.
And know that she will stab you in the back 1,000 times.
Yeah, and that's what Gina said.
Yeah.
Gina was like, she's not malicious, she's daft.
Yeah.
You know,
I had to
she's
Google
just-
daft and I found out that daft means, where is it? Let's have a look. Daft, foolish, absurd, ridiculous.
Yeah. So I think you're exactly right with that. Like, I think she just like says whatever, and I think she likes attention. I think she's a bit bored.
But
with
yeah,
her
she doesn't
life.
do anything, yeah.
So she's like, you know, sitting around calling up media and stirring the pot, I guess.
I would be bored too. It seems like she really just hangs out with Figaro all day.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And what do you think about Petty Fleur? Because I know that you were happy, both of you ladies were happy that Petty Fleur kind of got in there a lot. Yeah.
I liked that. I was like, you know what, Petty Fleur, that actually makes me like you, because it seemed like she was like, listen, I have to say the truth. Like, you have told me these things. And, you know, they've been the closest recently. So for Petty Fleur to say that, I believe that, you know, she's been saying all those things.
Lydia's comment to go effing suck on her own head. Like, and you could tell that at the end she didn't know what she was going to say. And then she was like, your head. Like, it was, that was
Wait,
so dumb.
when she was like, Spock, can I Spock?
Can I Spock? Yeah, speak.
Should I
Yeah.
speak?
And then Gina was like, I don't know. Can you Spock? That was funny.
That was really
And then they
funny.
used it at the end. That was like, Lydia's still not
Spocking,
speaking to the other girl.
Speaking. But let's go into predictions for the reunion show.
Yeah.
'Cause I want to do
it's
that.
going to be so exciting.
Predictions! We get some prediction music. 'Cause it's
Your
prediction.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Ooh, what are you feeling, Angela? What are you predicting?
I'm predicting that Jackie and Lydia are gonna just go for it. I think that, you know, now looking back on it all, and that Jackie will have seen all the things that Lydia was kind of saying about her being the real cause of all the drama. I think that Jackie will be pissed about that. Trying to think though, what else were kind of the things that were left unsettled?
And even thinking through the season, because you can understand this is after the view.
Yeah, they are always are like, well, I think Gamble and Gina are going to get into it too, because I think that once they kind of both see what the other was saying to other people about the situation with the wedding, that she's going to be like, so you obviously went to that party. Why did you lie to me about it? I think that's going to blow up a bit more.
Yeah.
The viewing party of Celebrity Apprentice. So I think that's going to probably go. And then, I mean, you were kind of saying that Chyka's not going to address this stuff, but I'm sure they're going to find ways to bring up like all the stuff that Lydia was saying.
Yeah.
I don't
Which
know.
I said it just annoys me a little bit. But I think it's just I believe it's a little bit too personal to the family, so that's why they're not bringing it up.
Yeah.
But that's why I think there is
Well,
sometimes.
and maybe that's why
smoke
her
with fire.
daughter is going through such a tough time right now.
Yeah. Well, I don't think her daughter's going through that tougher time. She just got busted for speeding through a few.
Yeah, which she's, you
I've done
know,
that.
19-year-old
Yeah.
girl or whatever. 21. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss the daughter. Actually, I like the daughter. I like Chessie. I think she's fun. She reminds me of a
Chessie.
future Khloe Kardashian. Like, she kind of looks like that, doesn't she? Yeah.
She's feisty.
Yeah.
She looks like Khloe Kardashian a bit.
Yeah, she does. Yeah. What do you think? What are you expecting for the reunion show?
I don't. Well, I agree with what you're saying. I think they'll bring up Dubai a lot. I think that'll be a big topic of conversation and those fights with Petty Fleur. And I think now towards the end, I'd like to see how their relationships have progressed since the end of the show with Petty Fleur.
Yeah.
When I was talking to Jackie on the phone a while ago, she said she didn't really have any relationship with Petty Fleur. So for that relationship anyway, it hasn't gone anywhere.
Yeah.
Do you know what, let's try and reach out. We're going to try and reach out to Jackie for next week, and we'll try and get her on the phone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
Let's
would be
do that.
awesome.
Yeah, let's do that.
Love
Yeah.
her to call in.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
she's quite responsive with us, and we want to try and get gambling as well. But that's going to be our task. We're going to try and get some of them to call in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with that, I mean, she also told me she has absolutely no relationship with Lydia, which is not surprising. I don't
Yeah.
think any of them are going to. I think it would be hilarious if they sat them down and it was all of them on a couch and then just Lydia.
Lydia, because they
on
always
there.
separate
yeah.
them out. Yeah.
'Cause they
Who's
usually-
gonna sit next to Lydia?
And I think it'll be
Gina.
Petty Fleur.
Gina, yeah.
No, I don't think Petty Fleur will.
Even though she doesn't get along with really anyone else. Yeah, I don't know. Who cares? Who cares?
She gets along with Gamble now.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe that's it. I guess we'll see. And the only thing, I don't really have anything else to say. I think you guys have hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
And I did have something to say. Oh, that's right. We saw in the closing sequence when they had the little blurb come up about what all the housewives are up to these days.
Yes.
They did say that none of the housewives is talking to Lydia at the moment. So we know that for a fact that since the show has aired, no one's talking to Lydia.
No one's talking to her.
Well, one of our fans, Lois, she's been commenting on Twitter with us. Thank you for your
Love
comments.
Lois. We love you, Lois. Yes.
She said what seems to have slipped by is that it appears Lydia was behind the gamble rumors in season 2. So it goes back all the way to season 2 with her already lying,
good
making
catch.
rumors. Yeah,
Yeah.
good catch.
And then if we
She
go back-
doesn't miss anything.
She doesn't miss anything. And then
Oh
if
yeah,
we-
she was the one that
Yeah.
said that she was like the prostitute or whatever.
So I mean, it
everybody-
started a while.
Everyone
in Melbourne.
And then we go back to season 1. There was this other
Janet.
girl who was actually worse than Lydia. I think her name was actually Angela, maybe. Funny
Which
enough,
one?
in season 1, there was Lydia and this other girl.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
I forget her name, but anyway, they all went against Gina and they bullied Gina. But Lydia was a part of that and spreading rumors about Gina as well.
I can't even remember her right now.
No,
It's
yeah,
so
what's her
funny.
name?
I'm gonna have to look her
I
up.
thought it was Angela. Maybe I don't know. She was a bitch. She was ugly. She was
Angel or something.
Angela. I don't know. I
know.
hope it's not
Have to go
Angela,
back
but I'd
and
love
look,
to go
yeah.
back. But anyway, it's been a great
Yes.
finale episode. We can't wait to do the reunion show with you, fabulous listeners and watchers next week. Can you please tell our audience where they can find you, Bo?
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at the Angela Struck and on Instagram and Snapchat at Angela Struck.
You guys can find me on all social media at Hayley Clover.
I love the way that you said, oh, social media. And I said, we're really going to work on probably getting Jackie and Gamble on the line. So it's been a great show, and we'll see you next week. Bye. Let's try and get Mom over.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.